This is Wilsdruff, which is approximately 15 kilometers from the center of Dresden to the west. During the First World War, approximately 5,000 German frontline soldiers who were wounded either physically or mentally in some way were murdered by the Nazi regime. And here in Wilsdruff, I've come to this place now, which is today a hotel, to have a look at the home of one of the victims. And the victims have been remembered by something which in German is called Stolpersteine, stumbling stones. And thanks to that, you can find these throughout the country, the victims of totalitarianism. And here we've got Richard Pöthig and his wife Johanna. And Fritz was born 1899, Johanna in 1900. She was born Hun, and Fritz's situation is the following: that he went to the Western Front, he's caught an artillery barrage, he was buried and subject to a gas attack as well. Obviously he was dug out, he came back here, he was able to marry Johanna, and they even had children, and they worked looking after a landed estate. Now when the estate was sold, they obviously had to start looking for new work, but in 1939 Fritz started to suffer from epileptic attacks. Now there will be those who will possibly argue that being wounded in the First World War and these epileptic attacks are not connected. That would be an argument, I suppose, an insurance company would present in court. Having myself had experience of people who started having problems due to military service, even with longer periods of that, who weren't buried alive, then I, in my opinion, obviously I don't know, I'm not being a doctor, but I make that point. Now, because of the Nazi system of trying in some way to get rid of those which these deemed physically or mentally challenged, unfit to be part of the Volksgemeinschaft, the people's community, these people were taken to institutions such as Hadamar, Bernberg, and Grafeneck and the others, and there they were murdered. Now, as far as I can tell, I haven't actually come across any soldiers so far that were murdered in the first stage, but of a T4 murder campaign. But I have come across lots who were killed in the second stage, and Fritz is one of those people. The authorities forced a divorce, and he was taken to a facility at Arnsdorf in 1944, and there he was taken to Gross Scheindlitz, where on the 8th of June 1944 he was murdered. Now, the form of murder there took either A, starvation, or B, through lethal injection. Now, in the summer of 1941, Hitler decided that the T4 program was to come to an end, and then there was a pause. And so in the first stage people were gassed, but in the second stage they looked for other forms of killing, such as via lethal injection or starvation. Sometimes even it wasn't even a lethal injection, so to speak. They were injected with air, and that could cause an embolism. I don't quite understand how, but that was something that was done as well. Later in court, it was argued by some, such as Paulina Kneisler, that she was doing good for these people, and she was only trying to assist them. So I think it's good that these stumbling blocks actually exist, because it can remind people, even though that in some cases they are quite difficult to actually find, but the stumbling blocks themselves are placed outside the homes that the people once lived in. And here I can also show you, whilst I'm here, another victim of the Nazis was up here, Father Paul Richter, and he was a Protestant cleric, and he was taken to Dachau. He died there in August, I think it was, in 1942. So he came Keil, which is not so far from here. He was arrested in 1941. He had heart problems. He even spent some time actually in a hospital in I think it was in Zwickau, or might be in Plauen, and he in Dachau doing forced labour, slave labour, and in conditions, very bad conditions, and he was murdered through work, like exterminated through work, as it was often called. So I might do a separate video on Paul Richter, because I've got much more information about him. So I'll conclude this video with a quick look at the main square here in Wilsdruff, which is extremely attractive, and give you an idea also of what this place would have looked like even 100 years ago. So above all in parts of East Germany where there wasn't much development, you can get a very old world feeling. So this is it up here, and there are photographs, and you can see from 1920s, for example, even earlier, and you can see that not a great deal has actually changed. In front we've got this Saxon milestone, which you find at various places in Saxony, and it shows the amount of time needed to get to various places by the postal service that then existed in the 18th century. So this was restored in 1971. But here we have some of the places. So if you want to go to Berlin, oh, that really is a long way. 40 hours it'll take to get there, which I think that seems to be quite fast, really, and for the conditions of the time. And we have Saxon coat of arms there, the royal coat of arms, and there's some more places you can get. Erfurt, Weimar, Gera, there's Frankfurt, but that's Frankfurt on Oder, not Frankfurt on Main. And Dresden, 3 hours. And Pirna, 7 hours. Breslau, 67. It doesn't have the date on, but that would be from the beginning of the 18th century, I think. So this would be easily recognizable for Fritz, having been here 100 years ago. This he would recognise, except of course for the wild boar, which are here. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you found that interesting. I upload now every day, and I have shown in the past, actually did a video, a longer video on somebody called Max G, because I don't know his surname, and in that video I told the story of what happened to him, how he got injured and how he was eventually murdered by the Nazis. In this case, because I got it from an archive, I wasn't able to say his name, but in this case, because I have, I mean, it's clearly written on the Stolpersteiner, I can't say the name of the person. This is due to German regulations on privacy, so there's not much I can do about that. So I upload every day at 2000 hours. I also got a membership of this channel, which costs €7. No, that's wrong. It is €7, $7 or £8. No, £6. That's it, or something like that. Anyway, that gives you access to currently around 800 members-only videos, should you be interested. But for the moment, from me in Wilsdruff, Germany. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.